On the record.
Okay, good morning. Today is April 8th, 2025. The time is 8 a.m. This is the zoning violation recall hearing on zoning violation citation PZC 24-0072, County of Coconino v. DeWoody, taking place by video conference and at Thomas Auditorium, Department of Community Development. I am in receipt of the county's exhibits R1 through R7. I'm not in receipt of any exhibits from the respondent. To be clear, we have a limited scope recall hearing today following my March 6, 2025 order in which I found Mr. DeWoody responsible for the zoning ordinance violations on parcels 97 and 100 as explained in the citation. That order also required Mr. DeWoody to come into compliance and fix those citations by April 5th, 2025, and that a recall hearing would be held today for the limited purpose of determining compliance, and if he was not in compliance, then imposing the remedy that had been discussed at the prior hearing. Mr. Stento, is Mr. DeWoody here today?
Mr. DeWoody is not.
Okay. And I may have misstated the time when we just started. It is now 8:23 a.m., which is 23 minutes past the scheduled time, and the respondent has failed to appear. Mr. Stento, are you ready to proceed, though?
Yes, we're ready to proceed.
Okay, let me put you under oath, and then you can just tell me what's going on. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're going to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, so please tell me what is going on, and you can refer to your exhibits R1 through R7 as well.
Certainly. So Exhibit R1 was the order issued on 6 March in response to the original hearing, providing 30 days to remedy the violation. So I performed a site visit on 7 April to the DeWoody property. That was yesterday. During that site visit, I noticed some cleanup had occurred. However, RV occupancy remains in effect. There were multiple RVs occupied with the generator running. A person seen in the living room in one, which I believe is the senior DeWoody, that is depicted in Exhibit R5. You can see belongings on the left side of the photo, along with the person back there. It looked like doing some sort of domestic chore. Both RVs were occupied. And while the property had been cleaned up somewhat, as demonstrated in exhibits R2, R3, R4, and R6, the property is still in violation of the county zoning ordinance. There's still quite a bit of trash and junk on the property. So despite their best efforts, unfortunately, the county does intend to seek the relief requested in the 6 March hearing. I asked for the exhibits R1 through R7 to be admitted into evidence.
They are admitted. Thank you. Let's see, R5, you said there was a person. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see if you look in the center left and look back behind the, looks like posts there. You might have to zoom in a little bit. There was a person, I believe, the senior DeWoody back there.
And so there are two RVs, both occupied. Did both have generators running that were connected to those RVs?
One had one running, one did not have one running. The one that had one running is shown in Exhibit R2. I believe that's Dana DeWoody's. There was an adult male also on the property, moving material around. I don't really know what he was doing, to be honest. But there was no way to lawfully occupy either of the DeWoody parcels at this time. There are no relevant permits that allow either RV or occupancy of a single family dwelling or a makeshift dwelling.
And are both of the RVs that you're talking about today on 97 or 100?
Yes.
Okay.
One on each.
Okay. They moved it all from your prior visit?
No.
Okay. And your indications that they're being occupied, are the generator running, and any other obvious indications that they're being occupied?
Yeah, so when we look, like I said, it exhibits, R5. The, woman in the background there, again, had just exited the RV off to the left of that photo.
Oh,
And you can't see it, but if you refer to exhibit R4, there's a tan, red, and gray RV. That RV, that was immediately to the left of the frame in exhibit R5. The senior DeWoody had just come out of that RV and again was performing those domestic tasks, whatever they may be, on their encampment style area there, just to the photographer's right of the RV.
okay, gotcha. So you actually saw that gentleman come out of that RV that's shown in R4.
That's correct. It was a woman, and I saw her come out of that RV. There
That
was another
person,
gentleman. I'm sorry,
that person in R5 is a woman?
that's correct.
Okay.
I referred earlier to a gentleman on the property. He was not proximal to this RV. If you recall the initial case, there was another RV and a parcel that was owned by Dana that I alleged to be part of the same encampment. That individual was moving stuff from that RV onto the DeWoody properties via a wheelbarrow.
Oh.
That is not captured in any of the photographs.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so we've got one RV on 97, one RV on 100, generator running
Yeah,
on one of them, and person exiting the other.
that's correct.
Okay. Okay, and then in terms of the refuse, um, it doesn't fall within what's allowed there. What the zoning ordinance allows a certain amount and a square
Sure.
footage, and some is screened.
So the zoning ordinance only permits screening if there's an approved residential use on the property. So based on section 4.7 of the county zoning ordinance, a vacant parcel, and legally speaking, this is a vacant parcel. There are no approved residential uses on this parcel. It is unlawful to store anything, on the property. So you could not, for example, have an empty parcel and use it to store a lot of your inoperable vehicles or any other, secondhand materials or construction materials, et cetera. As I noted, the DeWoodies have made an effort. We did see some cleanup on the property. And we do acknowledge that. However, when we look at exhibit R6, we still see a lot of the same random materials, including broken down ATV, a battery, looks like some sort of tubing or conduit, a tire. There were patches of material like this strewn across the property.
Okay. Both
Yeah.
97 and 100.
That's correct.
Okay. And so I don't think I realized that. So that the allowances for screen storage is really only when you have an improved parcel with a residential use.
That is correct. So if I had a 1 acre parcel, for example, and I had a home on it, or potentially an approved RV with a permit, um, and the zoning ordinance again broadly refers to residential, an approved residential use. I could then, at the rear of the dwelling, have up to 200 square feet of screened, whatever, trash, cars, doesn't matter. And that square footage goes up to a maximum of 2,000 square feet, based on acreage. But again, that is completely dependent on an approved residential use being on the property.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for educating me on that.
Absolutely. If you like, I can give you the exact language out of the zoning ordinance.
I've got it pulled up right here. I'm kind of looking at it as you're explaining it to me. so no need.
So
Got it.
you'll want to look at section 4.7C1 D. And that
B is in boy,
D is in Delta,
D is in Delta. Okay. Okay.
or 7C1 Delta.
Gotcha. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Any communication from the DeWoodies since our last hearing?
I had a site visit when I served them pursuant to the to Exhibit R7, which I asked to be admitted into evidence as well. That was 10 March. When I went out and performed the site visit, we had sent the order via certified mail as well to Mr. DeWoody. We did not receive that back. We did not receive a green return receipt either. When I served him on 10 March, I spoke directly with David DeWoody. He was on site, as well as David DeWoody. We had a conversation for about 15 minutes on the property. He noted that he was working on cleaning up the property. I did acknowledge that while I was out there, he was cleaning up. We had a discussion about what we were looking for, kind of inspection prior to the recall hearing. I was out there yesterday, as I noted. I did not find Mr. DeWoody or Dana DeWoody on the property, nor have I received any calls or attempts at correspondence from David DeWoody.
Okay, so you did it. You were out there on March 10 to hand deliver the prior order. You had a 15-minute conversation with Mr. DeWoody. You explained what the county was going to be expecting for compliance. Did you remind him there was going to be a recall hearing today?
I did.
Okay. And then you were out there again yesterday to do your site visit. Mr. DeWoody was not there.
No, he was not there. It's hard for me to get close to some of the at least to one of the RVs because of the entrance is blocked off by their dog pen area, and the dogs are aggressive.
Yeah.
So all I can do is get on the property and see if anyone's around.
Okay. And you've had no emails, texts, or phone calls from him since the last hearing?
That is correct. I have not.
Okay. And you said that you did send, or the county did send, my prior order to Mr. DeWoody by certified mail, but neither the letter nor a green card came back?
That is correct. I'm going to check the tracking now.
Okay.
The tracking shows delivered 21 March at 12:20 p.m.
Would you submit that to me? We'll mark it as R8,
Absolutely.
and that's admitted. And then you also hand delivered it to him on 3/10?
That is correct.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Stento?
No, that concludes the county's testimony.
Okay. Okay, I will follow this with a written order, but for the time being, I do find that respondent has not achieved full compliance, and therefore pardon?
Oh, we didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. And therefore, the fines that were set forth in paragraphs 4 and 5 of my March 6, 2025 order are hereby imposed. Again, I will follow this with a written order.
Understood. Thank you. I will have an email to you with the confirmation on the certified mail for the original notice, as well as a copy of the original notice that was sent to him in your email shortly.
Okay, sounds great. Anything further?
Nothing further.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Bye-bye.